we happened to be at the MTC in the Philippines, and he talked about being called to serve and assigned to labor to the missionaries there. As we were walking out the door, he looked at me and he said, "That was a strange message to give to those missionaries." And he said, "What did you think?" And I said, "Well, I thought it was a little bit weird too." And so the mission president at the MTC grabbed him on the way out and he said, "How did you know?" And Elder Bednar said, "Know what?" And he said, "There was a missionary here with us tonight who had been assigned to labor in an area, and she got a letter just a couple of days ago that her missionary assignment where she was going to serve had been changed, and she has been so troubled and so anxious and so just distraught about this. She can't understand how it could be one place and then another." Now remember, this is still in 2017. And then Elder Bednar decided to give a conference talk about this. It's called Call to the Work. Elder Bednar didn't know when he gave that talk that it would just help that missionary in the Philippines or many people throughout the years that we've talked to who had been bothered and concerned and burdened by the fact that they were called to a certain place they were assigned to labor in a certain place, but they ended up somewhere different. And it had been troubling them for a lifetime. He didn't know at that time that COVID was coming and that many, many assignments would be changed.
A wonderful young mother recently wrote to me, and I quote from her letter, "How is it that a human being can love a child so deeply that you will willingly give up a major portion of your freedom for it? How can mortal love be so strong that you voluntarily subject yourself to responsibility, vulnerability, anxiety, and heartache? Maternal love," she says, "has to be divine. There is no other explanation for such feelings. What mothers do is an essential element of Christ's work," she concludes. Knowing that should be enough to tell us the impact of such love will range between unbearable and transcendent over and over and over again, until with the safety and salvation of the very last child on earth, we can then say with Jesus, "Father, I've finished the work which thou gavest me to do." There are some lines attributed to Victor Hugo which read, "She broke the bread into 2 fragments and gave them to her children, who ate with eagerness. She hath kept none for herself," grumbled the sergeant. "Because she's not hungry," said a soldier. "No," said the sergeant, "because she is a mother." Mothers, we acknowledge and esteem your faith in every footstep. Please know that it is worth it, then, now, and forever. And if for whatever reason you are making this courageous effort alone, without your husband at your side, then our prayers will be all the greater for you, and our determination to lend a helping hand even more resolute. One young mother wrote to me recently, and she said, keeps her going. I quote, "Through the thick and the thin of this, and through the occasional tears of it all, I know deep down inside I am doing God's work. I know that my motherhood is an eternal partnership with Him. I am deeply moved," she said, "that God finds His ultimate purpose and meaning in being a parent, even if some of His children make Him weep."